The 49ers got the monkey off their back. Mariucci got the monkey off his back. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, thanks a lot, Pat. Terrell, you really made up for a pretty scary day for you. Tell me about that touchdown pass.
It was a rough day, and everybody stayed with me. They told me to just concentrate on the ball. I was going to make a big play. That's all I did. Right now, I want to give thanks to the Lord because I know that's who did this today. I had to make the big play. I sat on that sideline after I missed the third down pass, and I knew somebody was going to have to make a big play, and I put the pressure on myself to do that. Steve Young gave me a chance, and the Lord gave it to me today.
Right there to greet you, Steve Mariucci. You two embraced. It seemed like you shed some tears there.
I did. I'm so happy. At the bottom of the pile, that's all I was saying was thank you, Jesus, because I know that's who did it today.
Were you worried that you were going to have to live with the drop passes and the fumble and all of that today?
I knew I was going to have to make a big play. I started off with a fumble, with a couple drop passes, and I don't know what else to say. The guy stayed behind me. Chad Fan, for one, he just told me to just concentrate on the ball and make a big play.
Even bigger than that, you finally get the monkey off your back with the Green Bay Packers. Let's go back upstairs to Pat.
All right, Pam. Final score here at San Francisco is the 49ers 30, Green Bay 27. Coming up on our post-game report, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will have an interview with Atlanta head coach Dan Reeves. They'll also talk live with the Falcons' Jamal Anderson and Viking head coach Dennis Green. Plus, the Fox Sports Ticker will have up to the second stats. That's next on the post-game report.
Dan, presentation of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the post-game show.
Next, except on the West Coast, the Fox Sunday Night What Kind of Monster Steals the Unborn, nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Dramatic Series, The X-Files. An all-new episode. It's all part of Fox Sunday Night, starting tonight at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. As we welcome you, take a look. This is what did it for San Francisco. Steve Young, bullet.
Zone defense, a great job by Terrell Owens. Already in this game, 4 drop passes, a fumble, but makes the big catch. 25-yard touchdown reception that takes care of the Green Bay Packers 30-27. Finally, after 5 losses, the 49ers, JB, get the victory. And Howie talked earlier about watching out for Butler's blitzes, and Butler blitzed right off the bat, didn't he, Howie? Right off
he blitzed right off the bat, and an outstanding job by that offensive line. The difference in this game, obviously, was number 1, turnovers, and number 2, that offensive line, that revamped offensive line. Scrafford, Dees, Fury, the inside guys, Gogan and Brown, just gutted it out. 169 yards rushing. Steve Young, if you'd have told me before the game, Steve Young would pass for under 200 yards, and this team would win the football game, I think you're crazy.
But you know what? The game's on the line, and Brett Favre takes his team down for apparently the winning touchdown. Steve Young comes right back and answers with that one. But let's tell the truth here. If it were not for a blown call by the officials on the Jerry Rice fumble, Steve Young would have never had the opportunity. We've started this year with blown calls by the officiating. We've been talking about it all year long, possibly the need for instant replay. I think clearly the need for instant replay. But I'm not sure that it would have reversed this call, because they would have claimed that the whistle would have blown. They wouldn't have gone back and reversed this one, even with instant replay.
Well, you know, the one thing at halftime we talked about, Steve Young had averaged under 5 yards in attempt. So that tells you right off the bat, Green Bay was getting done what they wanted to get done, stopping the 49ers, making them throw short. But it was one big pass, the 25-yarder, that won it for them.
And congratulations to San Francisco. Big victory indeed in snapping the Green Bay jinx with that victory, 30-27. All right, folks, we're going to take you back out to San Francisco to rejoin the guys who called that game, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
All right, JB, thank you very much. I don't know about you, John, but I'm exhausted.
I think that was one of the greatest games that I've ever seen. You know, we've been together for 18 years, and to me, that's what it's all about. I don't know that we've ever had a better game than that. I mean, it had everything. It had offense, it had defense, it had running, it had passing, it had great players that are going to be in the Hall of Fame. It had tradition. And I don't know what more you could ask for in a football game.
Well, you look at 2 quarterbacks like Brett Favre and Steve Young and all they did, and Yet you look, the key to me is to see a guy fail all day long, and then when the chips are down, what Terrell Owens did right at the end.
I think there's a message here. You know, everything isn't always going to be good. I mean, some things are going to be bad, but you have to stick with it. And that's what Terrell said after the game. The players kept telling him, you know, stay in there, stay in there. You're going to make the play. And he knew he had to make a play. But the big thing is to me, is Steve Young staying with him. You know, it's easy for a quarterback to say, you know, that guy's dropped enough. But, you know, what a warrior Steve Young was. What a warrior Brett Favre was. I mean, as they were just talking about earlier, that, you know, I mean, Brett Favre, they needed a touchdown. They'd been running all day. Boom, he goes down and gets his touchdown. Then Steve Young comes right back and answers. What a way to end the game.
Well, Steve Mariucci has to be a happy man, and Pam Oliver's with him right now.
I know, Pam.
Talk to me about Terrell Owens, and he had a rough day, dropped a lot of passes.
He was frustrated because he dropped a couple passes, but I just kept telling him to keep playing, forget it, short memory, keep playing. And when he made that catch, that touchdown, he kind of lost it. He was getting very emotional and well-deserved. A great young player.
Glad to have that monkey off your back, obviously, for your team.
You bet. Thanks, Pam.
Thanks, Dave. Let's go back upstairs to Pat.
All right, Pam, and Ron Pitts is with Reggie White. This perhaps the last game, and almost certainly it is the last game for Reggie White. Ron Pitts is with him.
You told me something yesterday about you always wanted to have your name on that wall in Lambeau Field on the stadium. You're going to have a chance to do that.
I hope so. I hope in 5 years when the Hall of Fame ballot come up, and my name will be up there.
I want to congratulate you from not only all your fans across America, but all of us here at Fox Sports. You've had a great career, Reggie. It's been great watching you. And is there anything at all you want to say right now to all the people back in Green Bay, especially, that are watching?
Sorry we wasn't able to do it for you, but you're the greatest fans in the world. Praise God for it.
I've enjoyed watching you, Reggie. Take care, brother. All right, let's back up to you guys.
And certainly we have all been privileged to watch Reggie White. Now let's go back to the studio and JB.
All right, Pat, simply a sensational career by Reggie White as he closes out his career on a fantastic note despite the loss by Green Bay. And Steve Mariucci, what can you say about him? Despite the distractions, he has guided this team flawlessly. An awful lot of kudos go out to Steve Mariucci. All right, folks, we will be with you until the top of the hour here. We'll take you to 8 o'clock Eastern. Coming up next, a conversation with Denny Green, head man with the
champs are out of the postseason. The 49ers beat them 30-27. Let's head to San Fran, where Steve Mariucci is addressing the media.
I was so happy for him because he had a couple of plays where he'd like to have back. And then he made the play to win the game for us. And yeah, Steve threw it in there, and we protected and all of that. But boy, he made a great play. One of the big catches in this organization's history. So I'd like to also compliment my coaching staff and I've got a great coaching staff, for putting together a game plan and keeping our daubers up and keeping this team positive and working hard through the season and through this week. And found a way to get it done in all phases, contributed greatly. Special teams and defense was tremendous. And guys were playing hurt. We had Garrison. I'll give you this real quick. Garrison pulled his hamstring again. We'll have to see how he is. Ray Brown came out in first quarter with a concussion and a banged up arm, and there was just no way we were going to keep him out of the game. I don't know if he'll remember the game or not. We'll have to show him the tape. But he played a heck of a game, went back in, kind of dizzy. And Kevin Gogan's got something here, but Kevin Gogan plays every snap, every game anyway. So while the injury report here is short, we have to find a way to freshen up because it's a short week when we go to Atlanta, play on Saturday, short week. And but we're going to enjoy this for a few hours. We're going to enjoy this win because it's been a long time coming. It hasn't been easy, and they have had a good football team, and they still do. And we're going to meet again next year, and it's going to be one of the great rivalries in football because of the intrigue that both organizations have. So I'd like to congratulate the Green Bay Packers and Mike Holmgren for a tremendous season and a tremendous job. Very well done, and also we're looking forward to playing Atlanta Falcons.
Steve, can you just describe the locker room?
The emotion in the locker room, geez. It's kind of like the emotion out in the stadium. It was a little crazy. It was a little, in some ways we got a monkey off our back, and the way it happens, you know, the way we had to come back from behind and put a long drive together and make a play right at the very end makes it all that much more exciting. And you know, and that's the character of that football team shining through. And there's never say die. And we've been up and down like teams do, but today we found a way to win, and it wasn't easy. It was just an exciting finish, and it was an unbelievable locker room, to be honest with you.
How about an emotion for you, Steve, after all the talk this week about your future, your wife Gail with you on the field at the finish, and you beat this team that you were a part of for so long?
It was a good win, huh? You know, it was a long week, I'll be honest with you. And but somehow you have to focus on the game plan and focus on the game, and you let all the other things just stay out there. There's nothing you can do about it. So, you know, like I've mentioned before, you bury yourself with your work, and you get it done the best way you can. That's all we ever do, is the best we can. Every day, every week, is we just do the best we can, and you let the chips fall where they may.
Coach, was there any hesitation to call Owens' number on that final play? Because what else?
It wasn't necessarily his number. We ran a play where it was 4 verticals with 4 wide receivers going to the end zone, and he got a good release in the intermediate area, and he got inside the safety, and Steve just shot it in there. It could have gone to any one of those 4 guys, actually.
How big is this win for Steve Young, considering that, you know, all the losses against the Pack, well documented, a lot of
Right.
And he struggled a little bit, but last drive he really came through.
He sure did, and he made the plays when he had to. It wasn't easy. We didn't have a lot of passing yards. We really didn't, and because they did a nice job of rushing and covering, and we were better off. We were better with our run game today, and we certainly wanted to stay with it and stay stubborn with the run. And we did that, and then at the end, of course, we had to start winging it around every down. But it's a big win for Steve too, you know. And he's been so terrific. He's been so good throughout his career against everybody, and it's just been so darn well documented that he's 0-8 against a certain team, and some of that not so much his fault, or there's nobody's fault. There's no one man that wins and loses a game, but it'll be nice for Steve to know that he can and has beat the Green Bay Packers.
What's the name of that last play?
Can't tell you that. Bombs away. Throw it in the end zone and win it.
Steve, when he came out the field, did he say anything to you?
Who?
When Steve Young came out the field, did he say anything to you?
No, he was just going crazy. Nobody could talk to anybody. Terrell Owens was really, he was beside himself. He was, yeah, geez. I couldn't tell if he was hurt or crying or just, he was very emotional, and he, in fact, he spoke to the team in the locker room briefly, you know, and so did BY, and boy, it's great to have BY around here, and you know, and that game was for the city of San Francisco and the organization, but boy, that was for BY too, because boy, does he miss it.
What about Charles Haley?
Well, you know, if you watch the game closely, we really alternated and rotated our defensive linemen in this game, much more than we have in the past. In fact, we got caught with the wrong guys on the field one time and had to take a timeout because we did a good job. Chris Dolman wasn't feeling good, so we played him on the other side a lot, and Roy Barker and Gabe Wilkins had a good game, and Charles Haley was, you know, he was in and out. I don't know how many snaps he played, but probably more than we thought he would. And I didn't talk to him after, but I'm sure he had fun, and it's nice to have him back. And we just needed another guy to help us out and rush the passer and play some defensive line, given the health of our defensive linemen.
Coach, considering the emotion and the momentum at the end of that game that you guys will take with you now, would you almost prefer to win it that way than a blowout?
No, you'd rather blow them out anything. See these gray hairs? They're just adding up. Yes. Look at this guy. He is looking good. Thank you, everybody.
How's it feel for you?
Oh, it felt great. I knew I was going to have to make a big play. Time was really running out. On the third down pass that I dropped, and they got the ball back and they drove down and they scored.
I just looked at the clock, and it was just ticking, ticking, ticking. And, we got a chance to get the ball back. We moved the ball down the field, and it was that last play. It was he called all go. And Butler was on me. He had been playing me to the inside. He wouldn't let me get outside, so I faked outside and just knifed down the middle, and Steve threw the ball where it had to be. Those are the type of things that we have been talking about all year. Throw the ball up, give us a chance, and it worked today.
That was the name of the play, all go?
Yeah, pretty much, I'll go.
Can you describe your emotions Terrell, given the way you played for most of the game and then getting the winning touchdown catch? What was your emotion when the game ended?
You know, I was just happy that I caught the ball. I had a rough day all day. I started out, caught the ball and had a fumble and a couple drops, and I just knew that I had to make a play for this team. All year I had been doing it, and I didn't want to come into a big game and choke up, and I let the team down in the beginning, and I had to come back and make a play for this team. However it was supposed to be, it happened today.
Theo, what did you say to your teammates in the locker room to address the team?
On the sideline, I know one person in particular, Chad Fan, when I dropped the third down pass, he told me Theo, just stick with it. He said, just watch the ball in. And Terry Kirby also, they all encouraged me to keep my head up. At that time, I think a lot of players thought the game was over, pretty much over with. But that's been the thing for this team all year, players making plays. And I can remember in high school, coaches telling me big players playing big games. And today, I didn't get it done in the first half, but in the second half, I had to come back and regroup.
When did you know you had your man beat on that touchdown, and when did you know Young was coming to you?
I was just reading the coverage pretty much. The safeties were wide. Butler was over top me. I just stemmed him, went inside, and Steve threw the ball where it had to be.
You have the option to go outside.
Right, exactly. I had an option to go outside, but I knew from the snap, I looked inside, and I knew if I just stemmed like I was going outside and knifed inside, there was a possibility, and Steve threw the ball exactly where it had to be.
What was your emotion? Was it relief, exhilaration? I mean, right after you caught it, you went back and pointed. What was that emotion as you were going through?
You know, I was just thanking the Lord. Each time I go out and pray, before I play, I ask him to let me go out and give it back to him. And I just thank the Lord at that time for giving me the chance and opportunity to redeem myself for the team.
Considering that you overcame a fumble and a couple of drops to make that biggest play of your career, did you learn something about yourself today?
Yeah, I just had to stay poised. I think early on I was really trying to make some things happen. I was over anxious. I wanted to beat Green Bay so bad. I've been thinking about it ever since last year. And I just knew I had to make a play somewhere down the line.
The ball in the end zone, did the sun get you honest?
Yeah, pretty much. I had the guy beat totally. I saw Steve release the ball, and as it came toward me, it went straight into the sun, and I couldn't see it.
Terrell, can you describe what it was like in the end zone? Garrison Hurst had one to start the season. You got a doggy pile in there. Describe your memory of that scene.
Oh, I know Chuck Levy was the first one there on top of me. And at the bottom of the pile, I was just saying, thank you, Jesus, because I knew that's where it all came from today. He gave me the ability to play this game, and I just gave it back to him today.
You were whacked pretty hard. How'd you hold on to the ball?
Well, I mean, I feel like anytime that there's a chance for me to get the ball over the middle, I feel like I'm tough enough to hang on to the ball. That was never a question. And once I got my hands on the ball, I just embraced it.
You know you was in the end zone?
Oh, exactly. It was a play where we had to get in the end zone. There was not enough time for us to get that play off. If I would have dropped it, you came back. So I just knew I had to get the ball in the end zone some kind of way.
You couldn't see it. How did you catch it?
Oh, that was a pass earlier on in the game that I couldn't see. Yeah, it was pretty open most of the day. But at that time, I think a lot of guys, they were doubling the guys on the outside, which left the middle of the field vacant. So I just took the middle of the field. I took what they gave me. Oh, no doubt. I think the game down there, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. I think that game was very capable of being won at that time. Then again, we had some drop passes that game. But I think we're going to be ready this week, and we're ready to go.
Terrell, Dwight Clark's catch was called the catch. What should we call this one?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys will figure out something. I don't know what it'll be called.
Give us a hint.
Redemption. I guess it's the redemption catch.
I noticed all day that Green Bay secondary was forcing the wide receivers outside in the middle of the field. They weren't letting the receivers back inside. Was that something that you guys talked about?
Exactly. We talked during the course of the game. I know there was a time where we ran a play and I came over the middle. I was wide open, and I think at the end of the game, I think they were thinking that they was going to go to JJ or Jerry on the outside, and it left the middle wide open.
Terrell, what was the sensation like with the ball coming toward you there?
I wasn't thinking about anything but making the catch. I think by that time, after all the mistakes that I had made, I was really concentrating on the ball at that time, and I made the catch, and we're on our way to Atlanta.
Terrell, we got a chance to dance.
No, there's no need for dance. I think we'll dance next week, though.
Terrell, where does this rate on these big plays go? Number one.
I don't know. Those are the type of things, the plays I should have been making early on in the game. I had been making those plays early in the year, and it's expected of us to make those type of catches. It's expected of me to make the catches that I drop. But next week, we got another chance, and we'll go out and practice hard, and hopefully nothing like this will happen again.
Thanks, Tia.
No, I've always thought about it, and it happened today to me, and I just thank the Lord for it.
Thank you, Tia.
All right.
All right, that Terrell Owens. In case you missed it, here's how things unfolded in San Francisco. Just less than 2 minutes to go. The Packers down 3 as Brett Favre hits Antonio Freeman from 15 yards out. The extra point put him up 4. Now just seconds to go. It's Steve Young to the man you just heard from, Terrell Owens, in traffic, holds on from 25 yards. And the 49ers go out on top. They add the extra point. 30-27 is the final. Steve Young breaking an 0-for-8 all-time lifetime record against the Packers as he finally beats them in appearance number 9 against Green Bay. He is now at the podium in San Francisco. Let's head out there to hear what he has to say.
Knocked out of the playoffs by the Packers. And so, you know, that makes it